first of all, I'm very humbled to be here. I thank Kornit. And I'm standing amongst amazing people that I have to mention. First and foremost, Mr. Ram Serene, Fashion Tech Works, but mainly my team. If you own a business, you do know that you're nothing without a team, and I know that. I'll cry now. No, I'm joking. I could, but Anyway, my team is everything, and what we do at Lefty, I thought we had a little slide, but what we do at Lefty is so special, and so we're really kind of that missing link to this new world of fashion. When I started being in the LA fashion scene in 2005, and when I started, unless you had a meeting with a buyer at Barney's, you really didn't have the chance to have a line. The world has changed so much. We average about 200 calls a month on micro entrepreneurs that want to figure out, I'm an influencer and I have a legging line, and how do I make that happen? And so I just feel like this industry has changed so much because we're not just bringing huge collections. I remember when I started in this industry, it was all about how the rack looked, right? It was like, how is this piece merchandising with this piece and working back to this pant? And now you can do one legging and a sports bra and sell out in 2 days. And so allowing designers to have their own voice and not have to go through all these different layers and have buyers telling them what their voice is, and giving entrepreneurs this brand new voice. This is a very new thing. Instagram, I think, started in like 2010, believe it or not. And just imagine that change in this industry in 10 years. And so we're just seeing it so much. And I think it's a really exciting time for this industry. I really thought that my company was kaput over at the very beginning of the pandemic. The very beginning of the pandemic, we had so many orders canceled that first few weeks. Everybody was like, take everything off the machines. The world's over. And then within a month, we realized, well, actually, people are home shopping on their phones a lot. And we had one of our best years yet. And so I just think that allowing a designer to be a designer is just so important. And you really don't know. I was just looking with one of my biggest clients. We were laughing in 2017. She spent $175 with me. And, I allowed that, right? And now she's my biggest client. And so I think that this idea, the reason I started this company was because for whatever reason, no matter how many cookies I baked or how many cakes I baked or how much I begged a factory to believe in me, nobody would. And so I eventually ended up building Lefty just for myself. I walked into a factory and they were smoking and sewing at the same time. And I just, at that point, was done. I was like, I'm either out of this industry, I'm gonna go be an esthetician, and I'm done, or I'm gonna do it myself. And so Lefty was really a need I found, because without, a thousand units, no factory wanted to help me. No factory wanted to run a graded sample for me so I could check my fit, so I could make sure it worked before I had to be pushed into 1,000 units. And I think that with sustainability and with this new wave of micro factory, we don't have to do that. We can actually slow it down, help the brands. It's not as hard. When I got our laser cutter from Tukatech, we went from 11 people sitting there with scissors in their hands and pens to a push of a button. And so as technology is helping us, we can help these brands a lot more because we don't need the same manpower that we used to need. And I think that's a really exciting thing as well. But, I think there's a new wave of a designer, and there's a new wave of this industry. And I think if we really like work together and slow it down and also remember the human element to it, I really feel like that's a lost thing. We're sitting there like behind Zoom, like not really connecting to people. The world's moving so fast. It's like texting and like scheduling meetings, and you don't even like email to schedule a meeting. You just click on somebody's calendar link. Like, we're moving so fast, but I just think there's such this human thing that goes into making clothes. And I tell everybody, I tell every client that walks in my door, I say, I will mess up. Like, I'm not saying like what will happen when I mess up. No, I'm sitting here telling you that my team, we will mess up. We will disappoint you at some place, but it will matter to us so much. It will hurt our hearts when we do, and we'll fix it. And that's the way. There's this human element to this industry, and not many industries have it. And there's this tangible thing that we get this beautiful dress at the end of the day, or we get this amazing jacket, or we get these tangible items from it that make it so much fun. I know my team, it feels so good when we're like, oh my God, the client had this idea, and here 1,000 of them are, you know, and that process is so cool. So we've kind of illustrated the process here of what we do at Lefty Production Company, but, you know, I'll work with anybody. You don't have to name drop for me. You don't have to, like, I'll work with anybody, because you never know who's gonna do something amazing. I was a 24-year-old entrepreneur, and nobody was interested in me. And so I always want to be just available and helpful and really care about what they're doing and really treat their brands as if they're our own, because ultimately they are. If they succeed, we succeed. And I think if we can kind of give this like these, what we're doing right now, just coming together as an industry, I think it's just so important, and it's going to move this sustainable needle too. I think ultimately we've also learned that a lot of processes and ways we've worked for the last 15, 20 years, like, they're not working anymore. People can't get their stuff right now because it's stuck at a port. And so how do we work around these things? How do we change our ways? And how do we really become sustainable and also reshore a lot of our production? And so what is that going to be? And I personally don't know, but I'm excited to find out. And I am excited to be with all of you here. Thank you.